All right.
I like how I timed that perfectly without actually trying to do it.
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead. Let me get this promoted on Twitter. Talking my preliminary. There's already stuff I was looking in here.
Yeah, guys. I'm on my
I'm
phone,
on my
but yeah,
phone,
I'm
but
I'm
yeah,
just going
I'm
on to
just
Twitter
going
so I
on to
can
Twitter so I can retweet the tweet.
tweet.
Ranks with Big Daddy Drix.
Oh, I should
Oh, I should
retweet the tweet
retweet
that
that
tweet
tweeted out,
from
tweeted out
tweet.
for the
All
tweet.
right. All right. So I've already looked at these and been like, well, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. So, like I told you guys, I was like, please do not roast my Tampa Bay ranks. I screwed something up, and I went through and fixed it, but I didn't redistribute it to you guys. But, yeah, so I haven't really looked at these other than I saw under this cool little Fantasy Pros applet, which I'll share with you guys. This cool little Fantasy Pros applet. It's like, this is who you like more than consensus. This is who you like less than consensus, and it had Mike Evans like 65 spots behind everybody else. That's why I was like, uh-oh, something went wrong.
Look at you.
Man, look at this guy.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't see me in the chat. Welcome in, everybody. We're talking my ranks today. This is Jeff Crisco. I'm here with Walker Kelly and Mike Valverde. I finished the Analyst Depot ranks, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. And there's a picture of my dog in the top right corner because I didn't need my face on the screen twice. So if you're in the Twitch, that is a picture of my dog because she was sad because my wife would not give her one chip after she already gave her one chip. So that was her sadly putting her head into my hand. Let me tell Evan's stream is a go. All right. Is a goo. This MF said goo. All right. So what we're going to be talking today is I gave Walker and Mike a list of ranks yesterday. Their numbers might be off slightly because after I did it, I saw that Tampa Bay was way off, so I tweaked them a little bit. But other than that, I have not really looked at these ranks yet. So,
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff. Who's Big Daddy Ricks?
This guy said Big Daddy Ricks. Son of a... Whatever.
I clicked on it and it's a suspended account. Apparently.
Playing it off like it's not your old account.
It's not.
Oh, boy.
I honestly don't even remember why I decided to make it this.
Yeah, it's not a normal or not a usual account name that I've seen. So let me close.
You don't say.
So, all right, boys. So we're going to talk my ranks today. Like I said, I haven't really looked at these yet. I just did the Analyst Depot projections, which if you go back, I made the time, I believe Mike and I did it for the Colts as a highlight. So it'll be on the site forever. It'll be on the Twitch account forever. Couple things before we get started. We are a Twitch affiliate now, so that's pretty awesome. That means that we can actually monetize this thing. And if you already have come in, you've seen that there was a pre-show ad that you kind of had to sit through. If you subscribe to us on Twitch by clicking the little subscribe button, you don't have a pre-show ad. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free. You get one free subscription a month. We would greatly appreciate that. If you guys wanted to merge your Prime accounts with your Twitch account, give us that sub. That would be awesome. It is something that gets renewed every month, so you're gonna get tired of me saying that. Because I will have to remind folks. But it does give us some cash, lets us keep the servers going, lets us pay writers, and lets us keep rocking and rolling. So, like I said, Walker and Mike are here to yell at me about ranks. I do ask that everybody in the chat... Walker's doing the old audio echo thing. Thank you, Mike. Or thank you, Evan. I can fix that. That should be fixed. All right.
Are we good now?
We had to reload Walker into the chat, so I apologize for that. We're all good. So now we're all good. So we've been streaming for a few minutes now. So I fixed it. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Do you guys want to start with, so it's weird if I have to do quarterbacks, I have to back out of this and go into my standard ranks. For whatever reason, the expert platform on Fantasy Pros did not want me to publish my half PPR ranks for quarterbacks. I don't know why. So I had to do them in standard. But do you guys want to start with quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, or tight ends?
Well, let's just do quarterbacks last so you can just back out at the end.
Okay, sounds good.
So we'll start with the worst position, tight end.
Tight end. Okay, so let me switch over to tight end, the screen that you guys can see here. So guys I like more, according to the platform, Nick Van Ett. Some of the guys, because Walker, you did this with Analyst Depot too. You add a guy in, and so many people don't have that guy in your rank. So it's like, oh, you really like Nick Vanette for some reason, and it's just because I gave him like 5% target share.
Yep, I did the exact same thing with Vanette, so I'm probably going to end up with him at like tight end 27 also.
Yeah. So guys I like more than consensus right now: Adam Troutman, tight end 12. Guys I like less: Irv Smith, Jack Doyle, and these don't really matter. So I just want to have these up so you can see kind of like a baseline.
Why do you have Irv at 25?
I have Irv at 25. Oh, I'm trying to not do compare. I'm trying to just do draft rankings here. Why is this not working? So that's a good question. Why do I have Irv at 25? Oh my gosh, guys, this is killing me. I just learned how to use the experts platform, so this is killing me. There we go. Tight end. Okay, perfect. This is what I wanted to look at.
Too, so.
What's that?
QB's there too. So
yeah, so this is perfect. So this is what I had to back out and get into to get to quarterback. So you asked about Irv Smith. So let's figure out how I got to this Irv Smith and see if I screwed that up.
I can already tell you screwed it up.
Just go to. It'd be probably easier if you. Well, yeah, I guess you can just do this and skip through until you get there.
Oh, I see. I know what you mean. I'll do this.
Yeah, you could just go into player projections and pull up Irv.
Well, I wanted to see if I screwed something up with like target count or anything, but let's see. Irv Smith. Got him 56 targets. Nice. I gave him 420.
420. 420. He's going to get a lot more targets than 56, I feel like.
You think so?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's see what I did on TeamView.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would guess probably I mean,
what's the most tight end targets that Kirk Cousins has thrown in his Minnesota days to a tight end?
Man, I don't know. I'm looking at Mike. You have a computer. You can look that up.
All right. I'll look it up.
I'm trying to get to Irv Smith targets because I guess if you click on team, it makes you start at the top. What is show data? Oh, that is new. Walker, have you seen this?
I know. Yeah, I clicked on that and it gave me a bunch of weird stuff that I didn't understand.
Yeah. Oh, that's new. Okay, shoot. That is nice. Okay, perfect. So I gave Irv Smith a 10% target share. I mean, I have them running the ball a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How many times do you have them throwing? Like, I feel like 132 targets for Thielen is a lot. 140 some targets for Jefferson is a lot. 66 targets for Cook might be a bit high.
So let's see. I think I did that off of. So Thielen got, when he's been healthy, he's gotten between 25 and that's right, 20 and 25 the last few years. So I gave him the 24% target share. That might be a little high. So I can let me clean this up here. I feel good about that Justin Jefferson 26. I think they're going to feature him more. So that part I don't feel like changing, but I can do this Irv Smith, give him 12% target share.
Now he's at what, 66 it says?
66 targets, yeah.
I think I have him at 70, so yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I could take some away from somebody, but should I take it away from Emir Smith-Marset, who has Stephon Diggs upside according to Twitter?
No. I think that's fine, dude.
Yeah. So you've
still got leftover targets, so.
Yeah, well, I always leave every single team. I only project 95% of targets, just so I don't burden the quarterback in terms of like making their stats too small, because I accounted for everybody in one spot, and then it doesn't account for the miscellaneous guys on the roster. So that's just something I've always done. Is I've only doled out 95%.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you do 100% on every team, then even if there's like some sort of error, it's gonna be the same
error
for everybody, so it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, but I've intentionally errored everybody the other direction into acknowledging there's going to be extra targets that aren't accounted for. So I already found I found a big problem with Irv Smith. I had him at 60.6 catch when I meant to put him at 66.6. So I think that accounts for some extra catches as well.
I mean, that only gives him 4 more catches than what you had him at. So
I mean, that's still. Let's see, he caught 69% last year, but with getting more catches. Let's do this. I'll give him 2 more catches than that. 46. So 69.7. So pretty much exactly what he was at last year. So,
yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. See, this is one of the things with Analyst Depot, though, is you go through and then it adjusts everything down. So I have to remember what I did with my YPR.
I would say 12 is probably maybe a bit high.
Yeah, I was going to say league average is 11 for tight ends.
I would give him that.
I was going to say, but I think he's actually a little bit higher than that because he does have a pretty decently downfield depth of target. I just wrote up the Vikings the other day for sleepers, breakouts, and busts, so I remember.
I mean, you could do a 11.5.
Yeah. So that's So 11.
46 for 529.
Yeah.
And then if you keep him at 4 touchdowns, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So let's see where that gives him. Okay, so I don't need to do all this because I already.
Yeah, you can just go back to ranking.
Yeah. So let's see, tight end. I think we're gonna stay in this screen instead of doing Fantasy Pros. Irv Smith, 21. Nice. Still don't like him that much.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you're allowed to not like him. I just thought 25 was absurd when you've got guys like Eric Ebron and Jared Cook ahead of him.
I actually feel okay about having Eric Ebron ahead of him.
Well, he's not anymore. So.
You're right. But I wrote up the Steelers today, and Eric Ebron's the only tight end not named Heath Miller to get more than like 70 targets from Big Ben. So
I think our biggest difference is going to be Higbee because you have him at 10, and I think I'm going to have him at like 25.
See, the thing with Tyler... So explain this Tyler Higbee 25 thing to me. And Mike, feel free to chime in here if you have something to say about Higbee. But
Tyler Higbee's not good.
He's not good. But I don't have him being particularly good. But I have him getting...
Yeah, you do. You have him catching like 75% of his targets for like 11 yards target and 5 touchdowns.
Well, 11 yards per target is literally just league average.
Okay, well, you have him catching 75% of his targets.
Let's see. 63.
That's absurd. If he's going to get 84 targets, which he's not, there's no way that he's going to catch that high of a percentage.
Who's the number 3 target there?
It's not going to be Tyler Higbee.
No, but who's it going to be if it's not Higbee? That's my.
It'll start as Deshaun Jackson, and then it'll probably be Van Jefferson or Atwell. Honestly, what I really think it's just going to be the wide receiver 3, which I think will start as. I think it'll start as Jackson. He'll get hurt. Then it'll be Atwell. He'll get hurt, and then it'll be Jefferson. But I mean, here I can pull it up on my phone since I'm.
So I actually kind of. This one I do think is too high. This is, remember I said that I peg some of the guys as being too high when I looked at them. Higbee I do peg as too high, but I don't peg him as being 25. Mike, what do you think about Higbee this year?
Well, I think Matthew Stafford likes to go to the tight end, so I think that's important. But whether he's going to be in the top 12 of tight ends,
I have him 21.
I think that's way too low. I could see him finishing at top 15 of tight ends. 21 is, I don't understand that.
Well, I actually do have him catching 75% of his targets. So sorry, I was being a jerk about that. But I have him getting 60 targets. Like I just don't see them. I don't see Stafford falling in love with a tight end who isn't very good at football. Like, he's always had at least a pretty good tight end in Detroit.
Why is he not good at being a tight end?
What?
Why is he not good?
Because he doesn't catch the ball all that well. He doesn't really run after the catch all that well. He doesn't run routes very well. He's just blah. He's just kind of there. He's fine.
So real quick, I want to address something in the. Oh, I was wrong. So Ken Shamrock said that Pat Freiermuth is going to get involved. That's fine. He can get involved. He's a rookie tight end. He's not getting more than like 40 targets. Vance McDonald had 20 last year. So I had like Eric. Like we're talking about the difference between. I don't have Eric Ebron ranked particularly high, but I'm also not particularly worried about Pat Freiermuth. So I just wanted to address that.
Like I have the Rams tight ends getting like 5.5 targets a game. I just think that it's going to be like 2/3 Higbee and 1/3 Bryson Hopkins. It just like it was split between Higbee and Everett last year. I mean,
I just don't. I just don't.
I don't think Higbee's a good enough player to demand that big of a target share. And I also have a bit of an kind of sneaky reason why I don't like Tyler Higbee, because Higbee has in the past had like controversies about his racism.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and Stafford is a very public like Black Lives Matter supporter, and saying that we like can't just be silent about this kind of stuff. And I really don't think their personalities are going to jive at all.
That's fair enough. I don't think much of Bryson Hopkins. I think is the thing here.
But I don't think much of Tyler Higbee either. Like, I don't think they have a single tight end on the roster that's really good. Higbee's probably the best one, but he's,
Like,
he's whatever.
Yeah, like I said, Higbee was one of the guys that I pegged as being too high. But now that I know that he's racist, I'm gonna drop his ass down.
I think like all quarterbacks are Black Lives Matter, whether they are or they're not. To be honest with you.
111.50. That seems fine.
Mike, what do you mean by that? There's some. I mean, Tom Brady had a MAGA hat, man.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady probably is the only one that can get away with it. But any other, we saw what happened. I mean, Drew Brees couldn't even really get away with it. It's you have to go with what the team.
Oh yeah, with this Ashley Babbitt shirt.
You go. So I think, you just have to go in a direction that sort of forces you to go in the direction. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying that there's really, really no other choice but to say that you are.
I guess we won't get into that. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, and Higbee was a guy I pegged as being too high. Same with Adam Troutman. Before you guys say anything, Adam Troutman is not going to.
Why are we talking about tight ends that are like tight end whatever 15, 20? I thought we were going to be talking about.
Well, Tyler Higbee was tight end 12 or 10. Right. Yeah. So Mike, what tight end would you do you have a disagreement with here in the kind of the top end ones? Or a guy you think belongs in the top 12. I mean, we could do it that way as well.
I don't understand why you have George Kittle as the number one tight end.
Because he's really good.
And he's always hurt. And when was the last time he was a tight end one?
I project for health. I project all my guys for health.
Even if you project for health, when was the last time he was a tight end one?
I mean, everybody's never done it until they've done it. I mean, that's not an argument to me.
That's your basis?
No. I'm saying
done it till they've done it?
No, Mike. I'm saying the saying he's not tight end one because he's never done it before. I'm saying that's not an argument against it. I have AJ Brown as my tight end or wide receiver one. Tell me why
George Kittle is your tight end one.
Because I project for health and I project for the 49ers being a really good offense. I project Trey Lance to be under center for more than 3/4 of the season. I also think George Kittle commands a 26-27% target share, and he is on the upswing. Travis Kelce is going to stay flat or be on the downswing. There's not a chance that Travis Kelce is better in 2021 than he has been the last 4 or 5 years. There's a low chance that he's worse, but there's no chance that he's better. So because of that, Kelce, I mean, I just did projections here. Yards per catch. No personal biases came into this. I know it's easy to say I'm a 49ers fan that Kittle came up top, but what I see is Kyle Shanahan finally being able to run his offense the way he wants to run it. He was able to do the best that he could with jokers like Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo. And, I think that it's going to be a more robust offense. I think it's going to be a lot more. The main thing, Mike, the main difference that I did for George Kittle is I gave him a couple extra touchdowns. That's all I did versus what he's done in his career. But at the same time, if you look at the numbers, it's let's see, 216.7 minus 211.9.
4.8 points.
Yeah, 4.8 points over 17 games. 17 games. It's 0.28 points per game. I mean, it's hair splitting. They're all in the same tier. They're
virtually tied.
Yeah. Waller, Kelce, Kittle are all in the same tier.
Yeah, like in my like when I do my project, like I have uh I have Allen and Murray projected for more points than Mahomes, but all three of them are in the same tier. So if you wanted to pick Mahomes number one because he is admittedly the safest option, then that's perfectly fine. Like I don't you can pick them in any order out of that tier. I would just suggest that those three guys go as the first three guys, and then you move on to the next group of guys.
Yeah, and Mike, I just want to remind you, this is bare projections. I do, once I project for health, I also then go through and be like, okay, where did I go wrong? Which guys are actually probably likely to miss time? Which guys are probably likely to take a step forward? Like, for example, the Lions wide receivers, I projected them very similarly, but I have to go through and move guys up because there are guys that I think have better odds to lead the way, like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'll move him to make sure he's in the head of the pack, but as an intellectual exercise, I can only do certain things for projections. But at the same time, I'm keeping Kittle over Kelsey because, like I said, there's no chance Kelsey is better than he has been. There is a chance that Kittle is better than he has been, and the chances of I'm not gonna play worried about health. I'm just not. You can ask Dr. Morse. Injury prone ain't a thing. So I'm not worried about it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
so is there?
I'm not asking you to be worried about it. I even in a 16 game schedule, I don't see George Kittle being the number one tight end, but that's okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there's
really no debate in saying, okay, well, you just did projections based on certain criteria, and then say this is how my projections come out. So it's actually debating a analytical source when emotions and reasoning come into that analytical source. So that's how we manipulate our tiers and our projections, is because we look at the analytical source, we see what it says, and then we apply our emotions and our thought processes and different add to that, and that's how we come up with our projections. But for me to say what you did was analytically your beliefs isn't really something that can be debatable, because it's all analytical information.
Yeah. Well, I don't want it to hey, this was my projections to be the end of the conversation. I mean, let's do this, Mike. What part of this line do you disagree with? Targets, yards per reception, catch rate. I mean, touchdowns is the easy one, but what part of this do you disagree with? Do you think 141 targets, 17 games, isn't it? Is it just the fact that you think George Kittle is going to get hurt, so you can't put him at number one, which is a completely fair assessment?
I think George Kittle is tricky. I don't really have a problem with you putting him at number one. I think it's odd, but it's also I would have to look at his previous numbers and stuff like that to actually debate, what I see as incorrect on the screen. So I can't go in that direction because I don't have his prior history numbers in front of me. So it's to say, okay, well, 7 touchdowns doesn't seem realistic when he had 5 in whatever year. You know what I mean? That's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So, yeah, George Kittle. I don't think you'll find George Kittle number one anywhere. But to say that it's something that I would sit there and actually debate with you at number one, I don't think I would do, because it's not. I mean, 3, 5, whatever. It's all the
5.
I have him at 6, but
that's it.
I think that's a lot more egregious than Jeff having him at 1.
Well, of course he is, because we're debating 2 spots instead of 4 or 5 spots.
I guess.
So I'm checking here. I'm trying to see, where did they show the actual individual pros rankings on the players?
I don't know.
I'm on Fantasy Pros. I'm trying to see who's with me and who's with Mike. That's basically what I'm trying.
Pick experts. The big blue button on the top.
Well, that pick experts lets you stream or sift out other experts. It doesn't let you Here we go, rankings. It doesn't let you see who has him ranked. I found it, rankings. So, Mike, you are industry low on George Kittle.
Yeah, I'm probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have him 3. So.
All right, it's me and Mike Riggs from Gridiron Experts who have him as tight end 1. So, haha, Mike Riggs. But I mean, yeah, I don't particularly tight end 1 versus tight end 2 versus tight end 3. Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. Honestly, I think it's you're putting it in a blender and throwing it out there.
Exactly.
The thing that I personally disagree. I don't think there's any way that Kittle ends up with more targets than both Kelsey and Waller in a scenario where they're all healthy.
See,
that just hasn't happened, and there's really no statistical basis or past analysis that can account for that. That's just like you're just kind of guessing that it's going to happen, which is fine. I mean, you can have that feeling.
That's an avenue that's worth exploring here.
Because
he was a target hog. I mean, the dude had like what?
Yeah, I have him for 1 less target per game than Jeff does, and that's what makes it the difference. Because I have him at 94 for 1128 and 6 touchdowns. So it's not like I have him having a bad season. I have him being great. I just have Kelsey with 150 targets and Waller with 140. So.
Yeah.
I have Kelsey and Waller with 1 more target per game than Jeff does, and Kittle with 1 less, and all the other stuff is pretty much the same. So it's really just we're slightly different in projecting the targets. But yeah, those are the clear top 3 guys, regardless. So it's not that big of a difference, really.
Yeah. So Darren Waller.
I have Kittle at 4.
Yeah. Okay, that's better.
Okay.
I was gonna say
tied industry low.
I was gonna say 6 puts him below Kyle Pitts, which I'm gonna drive over to your house and smack you upside the head if you do that, Mike.
Yeah, no, I have him. I guess I had him at. Didn't we do our top 5 tight ends show or tight ends and?
Yeah, we did early in the off season.
I had him 5th. Okay. So I guess I moved him up 1 spot over Mark Andrews.
There you go. So okay. So let me check the chat here. Mike, Evan says besides Goddard and Kelsey and Waller, who else do you have above Kittle? That's what Evan's really pumping the Dallas Goddard chat.
Well, I have Goddard at 6, so maybe he'll be happy about that.
There you go. So any other tight ends you guys want to talk about? Kyle Pitts. I didn't even try to jigger this.
I don't like Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts at 6. Well, you told Joe Pisapia you're just tired of hearing about Kyle Pitts. So, yeah, Evan does make a good point here. The drop. So, 6 Kyle Pitts, 7 Dallas Goedert. But look at the point difference here. 175 to 138. That is a...
This seems like Kyle Pitts seems like this year's Ezekiel Elliott, where Mike is just like, I'm tired of this guy. I don't like him anymore.
But Mike was right about Zeke. That's the thing.
True. I mean, I'm not saying he might be right, but
Yeah. So
I think you have Jonnu too low, but who cares? Because he's still in the blob regardless.
Yeah, Jonnu arguably should go above Blake Jarwin. If I just started writing down ranks, like gut, Jonnu would be above Blake Jarwin. But remember when I said I had to project and then I'm going to go through and move guys around because of their odds?
Like, honestly, our projections for Jonnu are pretty similar. Like you have him, 55, 66, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have him 55, 650, and 6.
Yeah,
it's just that I have a bunch of the guys that you have ahead of him having a lot worse seasons than
behind
you do.
him. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, almost all of those guys are going to get a lot less targets than you have them projected for, in my opinion.
Like, who are we talking? Ingram, Gronk, and Blake Jarwin?
I mean, Gronk, you have, 72? I haven't redone him, so that doesn't count. Jarwin, you have 85 targets. I have 60.
Don't forget I told you guys don't roast Tampa Bay. I screwed something up that I still have to fix.
Oh, yeah. Troutman, you have 84 targets. I have 70.
So we're talking like Walker, this is actually a good discussion point because it's like 1 target per game difference. 84 versus 70 is less than a target per game difference, and this is what happens.
Logan Thomas is a big one. You have 114. I have 85.
Oh, good God. 114 targets. Thank you. That's got to get fixed. I'm low. I'm really low on Logan Thomas this year. That's too many targets. So that's one of the reasons. So you guys can see at home, like you do your projections and then you have to gut check them. Like, would I really take, like, do I really think Logan Thomas is getting 114 targets? No, I do not. I do not think that. I just have.
Yeah, because I forget. I had something like that
Yeah.
in one of my rankings.
Okay, so let's stop talking tight ends. We've talked tight ends to death, unless.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, like I can't. I ended up with like DeAndre Swift. I've even lowered him, and like he comes out with one more point than Nick Chubb, but like I wouldn't take him over Nick Chubb.
No, and look at this, DeAndre Swift, 4 points over Nick Chubb.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude, that would drive me crazy. And then I'd have to go back, refix it all, and then it's like, oh well, this guy is way too high. Nick Chubb is now way too high because he's now over Aaron Jones, and it's like that. Yeah.
I promise you, Nick Chubb won't end up over Aaron Jones. He's my number 8 running back.
I want to see who you've got. I think our top 12 is almost identical.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have Carson at 13, and
Yeah.
then I have Swift and Chubb in the top 12, and I don't have Carson or Gibson in the top 12 currently. Gibson I have to redo though. Like I have 7 more teams to do. Philly through Washington.
Oh, okay. So you're still. Oh yeah, because you had to go back in and redo it.
This is my second go through. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, looking through.
Okay, so you guys know Christian McCaffrey first. I don't have to. Let me just.
No,
skip,
we don't talk
Yeah, let's just skip past that. So it's Christian McCaffrey, then Dalvin Cook are the top 2, and then this is the rest. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's on screen.
Yeah. This seems really high for Robinson. Like this 219 carries. No way.
Oh, J-Rob. I was looking much higher. So James Robinson, I think.
I can see that.
I don't.
25 230.
They're
Robinson.
They're talking a lot about letting James Robinson just be the regular running back, and then Travis Etienne filling in around the edges as a pass catcher and a
Then why would
and
he
running.
get 40 targets?
Because he'll still get targets. I mean, 40 targets isn't that many targets.
2.5 a game. I mean, that's more than just like a dump off dude.
Is it?
2.5? No, I think that sounds like a dump off.
I always like to look at Raheem Mostert because this man does not like to catch passes.
That's fair.
I like to see what he does.
I didn't know his first name was Dominique.
Is it? Oh, neither did I.
How about that?
He's let's see, 48 targets in 33 games. So yeah, so he's about 23 per 16 games. So
Yeah, so 1.5, whereas Robinson would be getting 2.5.
a little bit higher than that. It's just
Little bit.
I also think there's a certain amount of running back dump offs that are built in that I had to sit and think a lot about how I thought Jacksonville would deploy these 2 running backs, and I think there's going to be a lot of 2 running back sets with like Travis Etienne out in the slot, or offset with James Robinson more in the traditional running back slot, which would mean that the Etienne is outrunning real routes. So he's not getting those dump offs. Those would go to James Robinson. So that probably bumped him up about maybe 5 to 10 targets over the course of the season for me. So you're looking at extra dump offs to him, but not Travis Etienne.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I'm just going to be like, I suppose I'm probably going to be the lowest in the world on Robinson. Because
Then that's fair.
I really like him as a football player. I just don't think they have any interest in playing him a whole lot. Like I refuse to believe, like, I know the bulky thing, but I refuse to believe the coach speak that Etienne's going to be a third down back. They're not going to do that. He's going to play actual downs and he's going to run the ball.
Oh, I have him for over 10 touches per game. So it's like
I have him 145 carries and 65 receptions.
Yeah, so you're just slightly more
I'm
bullish
a
on
teeny
Trev.
tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm a teeny bit higher. Yeah, I have him at 17. You have him at 22. So
Yeah, and I think
with
that
Etienne,
that comes into our James Robinson versus James Robinson usage question.
yeah, you have Robinson at 220 carries and 40 targets. I have him at 130 carries and 25 targets.
Oh, good God.
I don't see that
You hate James Robinson so much.
He's gonna
No, I like James Robinson. I hate the James Robinson situation.
That's fair enough. So, okay. So any other running backs we want to talk about here?
Where's Chase Edmonds?
Okay, he's like
28. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he's. I knew he was between 20 and 30.
Yeah, I have him 23.
I refuse to discuss this situation.
He's low, but like I have him 15, so like I'm not really that worried about it.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna be. I'm big time out on Akers because his price is just absurd.
I'm looking at this now. I don't think what's 188 plus 24. That's like what 12 touches per game.
Yes, that's
12 and a half touches per
12
game.
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I have him for 240 carries and 35 receptions. So
yeah, I'm wondering if maybe I gave what's that other guy? Henderson too many carries. 144 and 188.
I don't think so. I had Henderson at 135 and 30 targets. So
I must not have them rushing very much.
Yeah, I have them running. I just have them running a lot of plays because I think they're going to be on the field a lot because I don't think their defense is going to be on the field very much.
That's fair enough. I don't feel good about Cam Akers. Like everything we say about I've made this. If you've seen on Twitter, Walker, I'm sure you've seen this. Every point we make about CEH, every point we make about J.K. Dobbins, every point we make about DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers has all those points rolled up into himself. So it's like I couldn't
he can catch the ball. J.K. Dobbins, my thing for Dobbins is he's not going to catch the ball.
I agree that Dobbins isn't going to catch the ball.
The Rams ranked 30th and 32nd in running back targets the last 2 years. They don't pass to the running back. So, I mean, I have him as with 30 targets, which is almost twice as many as Dobbins.
I have him at 45 targets, which honestly might be a little high, but
yeah.
Even with 240 carries and 45 targets, he still only comes in at running back 15. Like, I really don't think Cam Akers is going to be an RB1 this year.
No, I don't think so either.
Obviously. But he's being drafted. But he's being drafted top 10. So I will have him nowhere ever.
No, I'm fully out on Cam Akers.
I mean, that has mostly to do with the fact that he's people think he's really going to get like an 80% share.
Yeah, nobody gets that.
Yeah, exactly.
Derrick Henry gets that, and that's it. He's not Derrick Henry.
Mike, you bring up a good point, Mike. So you're out on Cam Akers as well at his price, right? He's going as a top 12 running back.
Yeah, I'm not drafting him in the first round. I have him as an RB15 right now.
Okay. Okay, so I tweeted like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I guess my job is to be the low guy on Cam Akers this year, which is fine. I'll be the low guy. I have a defensible position, and if I'm wrong, I'll say, hey, good job, Cam Akers. I liked you coming out of college, so I win either way.
Yeah. I mean, I think the running back rankings look pretty good to me. Like I can see all of these guys finishing where they are. I mean, I have Sanders at 26. You have him at 16, but that's just personal. I mean, he could easily finish in either one of those places.
Yeah. I have beef with my own ranks. I have Gaskin 27.
I have Dobbins. I have Dobbins at 22. So I think I pretty much agree with you there. The upside's just not there because his role's not going to be massive.
Yeah. He's hemmed in, like we talked about with Damian Harris.
Right.
He's hemmed in.
Where you have Hunt 21, I have him 24. Yeah, I mean, I got no beef here.
All right, sweet. Mike, anybody else you want to beef about?
I mean, I think like Walker says, you can make a case for everybody on here, but there are some players that I would have lower, some players that I have higher, but there's not anything out there that just is like, what are you doing? Like, this is like awful. So,
not even this? I'm surprised nobody brought this.
It's not in the top 24.
Well, so I'm surprised nobody asked where this guy was in the top 24.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. I have him. I went to receivers, but I'll go back real quick.
I think that's a little low. I think he still finishes in the top 24 somewhere. But
I have him at 25.
Yeah.
I mean, I have. Here's the thing. I have him with 240 carries for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, and 25 catches for 200 yards. That's a running back 25. Sorry. I mean,
yeah.
Like he's gonna be not that efficient, but decently productive running the ball, and he's gonna catch the ball sparingly and not score doing it. So
Yeah.
I have him
he's just
anywhere
okay.
between RB22 and RB25.
Yeah.
So
I think that's perfect.
So as the season progresses and I refine these, I could see Melvin Gordon, David Johnson dropping behind him pretty easily because all we need is more indication that it's going to be Javonte Williams' role earlier in the year. And we're off to the races there with Javonte.
I think Jamal Williams over Josh Jacobs is a little weird. Like,
that
I
is
don't
a little weird. I'm looking at this. Yeah, this is I appreciate.
I mean,
this,
I have
yeah.
Jamal at 34. Like, I think he's going to get work, but he's going to be behind Jacobs.
Yeah, I think what I did with Jamal Williams was I looked at Anthony Lynn's splits with or shares with Eckler and
205
Melvin
carries.
Gordon. Oh, that's too many carries. What did I do? Sir, no, I agree. That's too many carries. What's his career high? Like 140?
I don't know.
That's too many carries.
Something like that.
He's not topping 160 without snapping.
I got him 140.
Which one are you talking about?
Jamal
Williams.
Jamal Williams is too high. I agree.
Yeah, he's got him 200 carries. I think he just like typed the wrong thing.
I must have. Yeah, I must have given him the wrong percentage. That's like
like literally splitting with DeAndre Swift. So.
Yeah. See, I have Williams at 140 carries and Swift at 190.
Yeah, I have Swift at 235 and 56 catches. I have him getting almost 500 or 300 touches. Almost 500 touches. He should rank higher if we're being honest here.
Swift, I have 190 carries, 65 catches.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So
maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you can make a case for that's a little too low.
You can make a Clace Edwards-Helaire for him.
We do the Clace Edwards-Helaire Edwards.
Yeah.
If he scores, which we debated about, I don't think he's too good at that goal line area, but I could be wrong. If he does score, 10, 11 touchdowns, then that should boost him up pretty high.
I've got him. Yeah, I've got him 900 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, 45 catches, 350 yards, 2 more touchdowns. So, and he's 19 for me.
Okay.
Where did I say that? Where do you have him, Jeff? I'm looking at my ranks right
18.
now. Sorry. 18. I think that's exactly where I have him 16. So.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all in the same range.
I guess we're all the same here.
Yeah, so what it ends up coming down to is as you go through the ranks, you're like, well, I'm 2 or 3 spots lower than this guy, but like, I probably like Mike Davis more than you guys do.
No.
Oh, where do you have Mike Davis?
14.
What?
Yeah,
boy. Wow, my dog's going haywire at the mailman, but I'm gonna pretend she's barking at you.
Here's the thing, Mike Davis Mike Davis and Cam Akers are tied, but Mike Davis at 14 and Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 19 are separated by 6 points.
Okay.
So rank those guys however you want because who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would likely Davis would end up at 19 because of those guys. I think he's the least talented football player.
Yeah, there are a lot about Mike Davis is like you kind of have to hope that what he was last year is the new Mike Davis, and even that wasn't spectacular.
He's not amazingly efficient. He's just gonna get work.
Yeah, he's competent enough to not fall apart under a bunch of work.
I think he is an extremely baseline RB2. If you run him out as your RB2 every week and the rest of your team is average, you will go 7-7.
Woo! All right, boys. So we've been.
Oh, I got one more question. Where's Gus?
Gus Bus. This is half PPR, so he got buried a little bit. Oh, Gus is too low. If I haven't come across him yet.
He's below Zach Moss.
Damn.
Oh, I think 58. That's wrong.
84 carries.
Don't even say anything, Walker. I already said that's wrong. I might have done the thing. I did a whole team. I did the Chiefs, and I accidentally swapped their what's it called? Their rushing and their passing totals. So I was like, I cannot get Clyde Edwards-Helaire under 250 carries. And I was going insane. And I don't know what happened here. My OBS just freaked out on me.
Oh.
I got him at 49.
So I'm just going to turn off the header. You got him at 49, Mike?
Yeah.
I have him at 35.
Yeah, he belongs up in the Latavius. He belongs in this range, and Jerick McKinnon belongs where Gus Edwards is.
Yeah, I agree. If you just flip-flop those two, it would look a lot better.
Yeah. So
But I also do once I get past like RB 35 or so, I just start just slamming running backs up on the board so I can have them up there. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I honestly, usually I have enough guys that I like that other people don't because I'm the receiving running back guy.
Yeah.
That once I get past like 40, there's nobody that I like. I've already got all my running backs anyway. Like I usually end up with like 5 or 6 running backs on my team, and I draft all of them by like round 12 because like I keep getting J.D. McKissick in the 11th round or James White in the 12th round, and I'm like, well, I can't not take this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I don't know what my OBS freaked out on me here. So give me one sec, guys, because it put the
Okay.
dog back over me. It freaked out the header. All right, there we go. Now we're good. So
Okay.
we're on to wide receivers now.
Oh
Wide
boy.
receivers, and I know Walker won't have a problem with it, but Mike, I'll give you a chance to beef with my wide receiver one.
Haven't
well,
redone it yet.
yeah, I definitely have a beef with your wide receiver 1 and your wide receiver 2
Oh,
for sure.
I have the same wide receiver too. So you got to be with me too.
I have a beef with you too, Walker, for sure.
So
I
is who is your wide receiver one, Mike? We'll start there.
My wide receiver 1 is Devontae Adams.
Okay. So
And then Stephon Diggs. I'm going to even move Calvin Ridley down more. I have him at 3, but he's gonna drop.
why?
Yeah.
Well, when I put him at 3, I was thinking more of his production in the Atlanta offense of 2020 instead of the Atlanta offense of 2021. So it's more to that. You're having Arthur Smith come over from Tennessee, that offense, and going into the Atlanta offense. So you're going to have a lot less production out of these wide receivers. Secondly, they're going to be doing 12 personnel a lot, which is why I think one of the reasons Kyle Pitts is so high is because they see him active in this offense comparable to other rookie tight ends that are slowly, moving up the hill. And he's, of course, going to play wide receiver as well as tight end. So there's a lot of changing parts there that why Kyle Pitts is where he is. But with a 12 personnel, your targets, we've seen with AJ Brown. I think he's going to be productive, but I would not have Calvin Ridley in my top 5.
Okay.
I think the theme is just Mike doesn't care for the Falcons offense this year because he doesn't like Pitts, he doesn't like Ridley, he doesn't like Mike Davis.
I don't.
And
I
that's
think
fine.
That's
very,
fair.
very conservative offense. It's going to be almost, you went from an offense that was just explosive with Matt Ryan all over the place to on the other side of the spectrum. And that all has to do with their offensive schematic. Doesn't have to do with their players. I think Calvin Ridley is pretty talented, but it's just not going to be used in as what we want in fantasy football purposes.
Yeah.
I just think
oh.
I was just gonna move on to Diggs.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick before you guys say anything. I already wrote down Chase Claypool 16 question mark exclamation point because that's too high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Amari
I have.
Cooper at
I know
11.
what I did. I have him with too many touchdowns. I have him with 11 touchdowns. That's too many.
Amari Cooper at 11 and CeeDee Lamb not in the top 20 is weird.
That was one of the things I wrote down earlier too. I think when I started playing with them, I think I moved them closer together. But sorry, I realized I went into my projections and took it away from you guys. Yeah, especially because I'm a CD Lamb guy. So let's see what I did there. Let's see what I did. So there's Amari.
He's just nowhere to be found.
Yeah, compact disc Lamb.
25.
My God, this guy's buried.
You have him. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's just the touchdowns. It's just the touchdowns.
Yeah, but I don't see. I don't know why you have Cooper getting like almost 2 targets a game more than Lamb. Like why?
Yeah, I don't see that happening, especially because Lamb plays the slot.
And Lamb's better than Cooper at football.
Well,
True.
Lamb. So I think it's. Hold on. Let me see what their yards per target is. I'm trying to remember what my logic. I think the logic was that Cooper would be more the like possession guy. And
That's correct. Yes.
and Lamb
but
would be the more downfield guy. So the number of targets don't matter. It's the number, it's the yards underneath the targets. Is I think what the
yeah, but
thought process was.
You
there.
still have Cooper with almost 200 more yards.
But I have CD. Oh, I know. Oh! I found the problem.
Did you mean to put 142 instead of 124?
I meant to put an extra yard per target or yard per reception under what's his face? CD Lamb. I have him at 13.2. I meant to put him at 14.2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which gives him almost 2 yards of separation per target than what's his face? Amari Cooper. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make sense to me.
Why is that?
Because Cooper is going to be more of the downfield threat than Lamb.
I don't agree with that.
I disagree as well.
Lamb is going to play the slot. How's Lamb going to be going downfield when he's in the slot?
By running down the middle of the field.
With linebackers and everything else in play?
Yeah, because he just goes around
because
he's extremely
Mike,
good.
It is a robust. We're not talking like it's CeeDee Lamb and nobody else. Like the linebackers and the safeties have to worry about whatever tight end they decide to run out there. Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard can catch passes. They're going to be otherwise contained. They're going to be occupied. Otherwise occupied.
Let's see. What was Lamb's average depth of target last year?
I don't think it's really indicative because most of the season was with a bunch of randoms at quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not worried about.
Well, it would be the same thing with Amari Cooper.
Well, yes,
the same team. So Lamb had 9.5 average, and Amari Cooper.
This is riveting radio. Everybody's looking up numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cooper had less of average depth target. He had 8.8.
Woo!
I stand corrected.
And deep targets. CeeDee Lamb 19. Amari Cooper 15.
Let's go.
All right, Mike's banished from the podcast now.
We got his ass.
I'm wrong.
No, Mike, your logic was sound insofar as you're like, how is he going to run downfield more from the slot? And let's see here.
It's just because that's how they do it. Like, I know most teams don't, but they just do for some reason.
Yeah, and I mean, CeeDee Lamb did a lot of this from the slot. 85% of his snaps came from the slot. So it's almost impossible for him to have done all this exclusively on the outside, when he moved outside.
He's slot fade king.
He's the opposite of Slant Boy. So I fixed it. I have CeeDee Lamb 21, which still feels low to me. But I'll take another look at that. But this is what I wanted you guys to do, is be like, what did you do there? Because I didn't look at these. I did not look at these. Like I said, I saw the Tampa Bay thing, and I'm seeing these aggregate ranks for the first time, other than the Tampa Bay thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have Lamb at 14 and Cooper at 15.
I have Lamb at 14 and Cooper at 22.
Wow!
Dang.
So you flip-flopped Lamb and Cooper here.
Yeah, I have Cooper with.
I was gonna say, where do you have Gallup?
Not super high.
That's too many targets for Michael Gallup. I gotta fix that. That's not super.
Gallup is like one of those guys that you target in Dynasty, but you avoid like the plague and redraft.
Yeah, because he's got to get
40. 46.
46. Okay, yeah. So I think that. Okay, maybe not. I was thinking you might have had Gallup taking more of the underneath, but Mike, you're absolutely correct about Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup needs to get his situation sorted out. I love him, but he is clearly the number 3.
Yeah, talented player who's the third most talented receiver on his team.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Cooper I have for 85 for 1050 and 5 touchdowns. Lamb I have 90 for 1200 and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. So another wide receiver you guys want to talk about before we move on to quarterbacks?
What do you have Thielen?
22.
22.
Yeah, I got him 24.
Yeah,
That seems about right.
I think the hate on Thielen's gone too far because the offense is so dense. You know, it's going to be in the past game Jefferson, Thielen with a little bit of Irv Smith. You know,
Yeah.
people are so worried about like a BC Johnson or an ISM, but I just don't see it happening.
Can you scroll down to 36, just so I can see who you've got?
Michael
there?
Gallup at 36. Chris, I already told you guys.
I know the Tampa Bay guys are messed up, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, don't worry about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin or AB at 28.
I am shocked and horrified that you don't have Brandon Ayuk in your top 36 receivers.
I should.
Yeah, that is surprising because I have him.
Wait, hold on.
Where is
45.
45?
Yeah, that's wrong.
No, hold on. No. What I sent you guys, him and Debo were like in the 20s. That's not me. Something glitched out here. Hold on. I got to find the document that I sent you guys.
Oh, you're right. Because I see him right now. You have him. Well, you have two? So 25?
Yeah, 25. Something happened here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have him at 25 and Debo at 28. 25, 26. 30. Yeah, him at 25, Debo at 28. So something happened here. That's not me. Because Walker,
No.
when you were like, I'm shocked and appalled at Brandon Ayuk, I'm like, he's like in the 20s. What do you want from me? But
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Where do you have? Last question is, where do you have Darnell Mooney?
Darnell Mooney is way too low. 60 something. That's got to move up.
60.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got him 35.
Yeah. Well, let's
And
see.
then you have Deontay Johnson kind of low too. I would expect him to be up in the 20s.
He
He
is
is
in the
20s.
20s. Maybe you
Yeah.
saw a
Not-
different Johnson, Mike.
I'm looking at your sheet.
Oh, that I sent you? What do I have on
Yeah,
that?
that had whatchamacallit on there.
What happened here? Where is Deontay? What happened here?
He's right there.
No, I'm looking at the sheet that I sent you guys.
Oh,
Something went haywire in the background here. 30. I have him at 30 on the sheet that I sent you guys, and 26 here. So something
yeah.
went screwy.
I currently have him at 29. So,
Yeah. So Mike,
but that's just because I think Deontay Johnson is like not a good football player.
you nailed it. I think that people think there's a massive gap between what Deontay Johnson does on a football field and what Juju Smith-Schuster does, and at the end of the day, there is not.
Juju Smith-Schuster is good at football, and Deontay Johnson isn't.
Juju is
I
good.
wouldn't say he's not good at football. I think Deontay Johnson. I don't think he's great.
Deontay Johnson's
but-
good at getting open. He's
Correct.
bad at catching the ball.
Well, yeah, I can't argue after he led the league in drops last year, but I think that's going to be something that will change.
I mean, I think that he won't necessarily lead the league in drops again, but I don't think that he's just going to suddenly be fine in the drops department. Like, he's still going to
No,
drop.
I agree with that.
No.
Sure,
His
sure.
hands are still going to be bad. They're just not going to be like historically bad.
Right. No, I agree. When
And-
you
and I
lead the
haven't-
league in drops, you're not just all of a sudden going to be, you're not going to be Larry Fitzgerald out there.
And I've got to redo the Pittsburgh receivers because I don't have any of them doing well right now, which is weird. But I gotta fix them.
Yeah, that is weird. So I wrote about the Steelers today. So I wrote about Deontay Johnson as the bust candidate just because I think he's being overdrafted. He's wide receiver 22 right now.
Seems a
And
bit high for a guy whose ADOT is like negative.
that was
Well,
my
that was
point.
the offense. That was the offense.
Well,
I don't know
that's
if
still
gonna
going to be the
same.
offense.
Well, Matt Canada's offense will be a little different.
But is Ben's elbow going to magically get 5 years younger?
No,
Yeah. So like my point was people think that Deontay and Juju are like vastly different, but Juju's had an astonishingly low ADOT of 4.4 and Deontay's was 6. And their after the catch was essentially both between 4 and 4.5. So they're basically the same after the catch. It's just how many more yards downfield. And Juju's has better hands and he is a better red zone threat, a better end zone target. So it's like,
I love looking at the splits of Juju Smith-Schuster where he was like 10th in receptions, but like 35th in yards.
yeah, it's awesome. Like, hold on, let's look at Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster was like this. I said Juju Smith.
he had like 80 for 700. It was so weird.
Yeah, it was wild.
Juju Smith.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't see that.
This MF said Juju
Juju
Smith.
97 for 831. Good God.
That's
is
so funny.
And what's crazy about this is like half of his yards per reception were after the catch.
It was the dumbest season I've ever seen in my life.
I would like he produced.
What a stupid offense.
He produced like 400 of these on his own after catching the ball. Like Ben was just basically just like
here you go.
Like how you chuck a beer at a friend. Like that's pretty much as far as he was chucking the football at Juju. 12 feet downfield was how far he's throwing the ball to Juju.
Yeah, Ben was so unhealthy at the end of the season, and Randy Fichtner is so not creative that he just Juju ran nothing but stick routes for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it's just, oh my God, that offense it worked for 11 weeks because the defense was so good, but then the defense started to get banged up, and then it all started to come tumbling down. So, all right, let's talk quarterbacks, and I don't know if nobody's talking in the stream chat or my stream chat locked. Either way, we have no questions from the chat. So if there are questions in there, it's not my fault. It's not my problem. So, projecting quarterbacks. You'll see something here. Deshaun Watson. This is me hedging as doing team quarterback for the Texans. This is just team quarterback. I'm not projecting who it's going to be because I don't know who it's going to be yet. I don't think it's going to be Deshaun Watson for the whole season, but there is a chance it's for part of the season. So let's just pull Deshaun Watson out of this because this is just like old Eagles QB in Tecmo Bowl. This is just Texans QB, where I'm splitting the difference between if it's Watson, it's up here. If it's Davis Mills or Tyrod Taylor, it's like down here. So
lower. I mean, if it's Taylor, it's like around 20. If it's Mills, it's like non-existent.
Zach Wilson. Oh, Carson Wentz is too low. Mike, you did this to Carson Wentz. This is your guy, and you projected him to be 26th.
I hate him.
Yeah, you hate him. Okay.
He wants to bury him. He wants to bury him in your rankings, so then he gets him in the draft.
Yes, absolutely.
And then, so when he's really good, Mike will be like, Jeff, I can't believe you had Carson Wentz 26. What's wrong with you?
The old bait and switch.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's talk a few minutes about my quarterbacks, and we can get out of here. We've been going for about an hour. I try to keep these streams about an hour 15. And I'm more successful at it than I am our podcast. So,
okay.
So, any quarterbacks you really take umbrage with?
Flip Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. Other than that, looks fine.
Hurts and Burrow. Okay, so you're really low on Hurts and compared to...
Yeah, I have Hurts 17, Burrow 10.
So,
but I'm redoing Philly next, so it could change.
Okay, so my question is would you really put Hurts below Roethlisberger?
Well, I haven't redone Roethlisberger either, but I don't have Roethlisberger anywhere near that high.
Okay, because you said because I have him 15 just based off of like we saw last year he doesn't have to throw the ball that far, and his wide receivers will do all the hard work. And I do think Najee's going to help him out as well. There's a big one that I'm staring square in the face, but luckily I told you guys don't roast the Buccaneers because I broke it.
Oh, Brady being a little high.
Tom Brady throwing 5,300 yards.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, I have him at, again, I haven't redone Tampa, but currently he's at 9. He'll probably stay right around there would be my guess.
Yeah, so ideally what you have is for me is I think I'm higher on Lamar Jackson than Walker. We were talking about you have Kyler and Josh Allen 1 and 2. I don't know your order, but you were talking about Mahomes.
Yeah, Allen 1, Murray 2, Mahomes 3, and then I have Jackson 4.
So yeah, Josh Allen should be at least 4. So I have Kyler and Josh Allen together, but I think I would go Josh Allen over Kyler. So I think that's because we talked about it. I said for Kyler Murray to beat Josh Allen, he would have to do something he's never done, but Josh Allen just has to do what he's always done. And I realized that's the same thing I told Mike doesn't work with Kittle and Kelsey. So maybe I'm just a effing hypocrite. Who knows?
Maybe you just hate Kyler Murray.
I mean, it's possible. He's in my division, so I hate looking at him.
Sure. Well, you don't really have to look at him. You kind of look over him.
That's true.
Yeah, I do. It's not hard to look over him either.
I go to the all 22 and I'll be like, show me facing the defense and then put or facing the offense, then put the camera lower. So all I see is the offensive line and nothing behind it. All right.
I think you know what I would do with Lamar. But But
I know you don't like Lamar Jackson because you don't think rushing yards count.
well,
I
they
mean-
count, and he's going to need every single bit of it. But it's I would flip Josh Allen and Jackson in that group.
Yeah, I'm thinking Josh Allen's too low here. I mean, obviously there's the don't roast me for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers factor, but I'm thinking Josh Allen's too low.
Yeah, like here's the thing, Mike. I have Jackson throwing for 3,300 yards, and he's still quarterback 4. It just doesn't, like, he can't really be low because he runs so much.
Yeah. He is like from a projection standpoint, he is probably the quarterback. You know, if you stripped out rushing yards, probably the quarterback like somewhere around 10. But then you just
not even.
Yeah, but
way
then you
lower.
Not lower.
but then you stack
Way
a,
lower.
well, he throws a lot of touchdowns. Don't forget about that. He throws
Well,
a lot of
I have him with 27 touchdowns and 3,300 yards. Like, if you look down through here, he would be. I mean, yeah, he would be probably just on passing, like barely a QB2. But because he's also like, just his running would be like an RB2. When you put QB2 and RB2 together, then you get a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think you're really discounting how many touchdowns he throws, Walker. I think that's
I'm not.
I think that's the difference between you and me in terms of when I say if you strip out his passing, he's like quarterback like 10, or his
But
rushing.
I don't necessarily think his absurdly like huge touchdown percentage is. I mean, it went down from his MVP season.
Yeah, but it's
I don't-
it's still
I don't think
insanely high. It's still an
I don't
all-time
think he's throwing
touchdown rate.
35 touchdowns.
No, he's not even going to throw 30 touchdowns. 25?
I have him 27.
He's throwing 30 touchdowns, guys.
No.
Yeah, and end of story there. I mean, he's throwing at least 30.
No.
I can see 35 being high, but he's throwing at least 30. You don't think he can get? Let's see what that is. The only way he doesn't is if he sits out week 18.
Mm,
You don't think he's throwing 1 3/4 touchdown every game? So what's that? 4 touchdowns
Well,
every 5 games, or
I
5
think it'll
touchdowns
be
every
clo-
4 games?
I think it'll be close, Jeff.
I think it's at least 30.
I think you're overestimating how much Baltimore is going to throw.
No, I'm not.
You have them with 400. You have him throwing 467 times. I have him throwing 425 times.
467 divided by 17 is
467. Jeez.
467. But check this out.
They don't throw. There will be There will be regular times where he doesn't throw 20 passes in a game.
This is 2 extra pass attempts a game over last year.
What?
That's 2 extra pass attempts a game over last year is what he ended up with.
Okay.
So
I don't think they're going to throw more than last year.
2 more times?
I don't think they are going to throw more than last year.
All right. I think they're going to throw a couple more times per game. And
I don't. I don't. Why would they? What they do works.
Does it?
I
They've
mean-
they've gotten bounced in the playoffs both times because they were one-dimensional. And their
I could
passing
see him-
game fell
I
apart
could
on
see
them.
him hitting 400. I could see him hitting 400.
Well, yeah,
And
Mike, that's an
about it.
extra. That's exactly what he did last year, but with 1 extra game
No, he only threw 376 last year.
in 15 games.
Okay.
So if you do that times 17 games,
Oh,
that's
so
426
if you put
passes.
More games on there. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So it's 2.
Yeah, but I don't see him at 467. I see him like, and I'm talking about max here. I'm talking like 402, that kind of number.
I would say I think that Jeff is projecting Lamar at like the very high end of the
Yes,
passing attempts.
it's great.
It's 2 more pass attempts than what he did last year per game, and in 2.
You're acting like you're acting like that's not a lot when you look at the season.
Well, I mean, okay. He threw 26.7 times per game in 2019. And he threw 25 times per game last year.
You really think he's going to throw 29 passes a game this year? No
No,
way. There's
I
no chance he does that.
Wow, that's a lot of passes per game.
It's not.
That's a lot of passes for Lamar Jackson per game. Like I said, there will be games multiple where he does not throw 20 passes.
Let's see.
Okay, wait, hold on. I don't have 29.
29, right? That's what you said? Okay,
No,
let's-
no. I said no. Nobody said 29 pass attempts per game.
27.47 is what you have.
27 and a half pass attempts per game.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how many times? I'm looking at his numbers right now. How many times did he go 27 or more?
I have him throwing
1,
exactly
2,
25 passes a game, just as a
4,
baseline.
5 times last year he threw 27 or more passes.
So essentially, to get to that baseline, Jeff, you're saying that like that 3 or 4 more times he's going to get to that limit.
I don't think that that's insane.
I don't-
They
I'm
spent a
not-
first round pick on a
I'm-
wide receiver.
I'm not saying it's insane. I'm saying you're projecting him at the high end, and you are.
That's what
getting
I'm saying. I don't think
and you're
that
going
per-
apoplectic.
I'm not
that's
going
not true.
apoplectic. I'm Mediterranean, man. I talk like this. Okay, this is just how I talk.
Okay, fair.
So he had
That's
20.
fair.
He had 27 targets. How many times did you say, Mike?
5 times.
It's
of
6. Checkmate, buddy. He had 27 in 6 games. I just think so. There's a lot of like 26, 25, 24, 23, 22 pass attempt games. Okay, maybe not 22, but I think that this like 24, 25, 26, you just there's just going to be more targets. I'm not one of these guys that says, oh, the Baltimore Ravens passing game is going to pass so much more, and they're going to throw it all over the field. I wrote a whole, I don't know the rules of cursing, the whole effing article about how even if the Ravens pass more, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And so I'm very measured in the fact that they're going to pass more, but not that much more. So
Yeah, I mean, I've got Lamar QB4. Like I'm not, and I think Lamar is perfectly fine at throwing the football. Like I'm not Mike. I don't think he's like an awful football player who can run.
He's awful throwing the ball.
You're wrong, Mike. You're just wrong. I'm sorry.
checkmate. Hold on, I'm pulling up my Ravens article because I remember there was a reason why the 2 additional pass attempts per game.
Because Mark Ingram's 2 rushing attempts will be automatic throws now.
No. It was a historic. It had something to do with the historic change between a team that finished 32 and the next season, because 32 is just like, it's absurd how low to finish 32. And usually they added like 2 pass attempts per game the next year. I think that's what it came down to. And this is every season there's been 32 teams in the NFL. So I think that's what it came down to.
All right.
But this is the same thing as like AJ Brown can't get another target per game. Like Lamar Jackson can throw the ball another 2 to 3 times.
I don't think it's quite the same, Jeff. I don't think it's quite the same. Well, that's fine. I just don't.
What? Why not?
Because it's more.
The number is bigger, therefore.
Therefore, it's different. I mean, no, I because Tennessee essentially can't give Derrick Henry the same amount of carries this year and expect him to hold up every game consistently like he did last year. They can't do that for the 3rd season in a row. Plus, they have a new offensive coordinator who will likely run the ball a little bit less because they ran the ball an insane amount. They ran the ball more than any non-Baltimore team. I just don't. Baltimore has shown that this is what their offense is with Lamar. I think that they will throw, I think maybe they'll throw a little bit more, but, and you could, if you could maybe wear me down into saying that my projection is a little bit low, but like 450 is as high as I'd be willing to go, because I just think that I go up by 25s in attempts just as a baseline, just because there's no way you're going to be able to predict the exact amount of attempts. And I think that getting up into that 475 range is just that's like the Ravens would have to be bad for them to be throwing that much, and they're not going to be bad.
What if I told you I still have the Ravens with the fewest pass attempts in the league this year?
Oh, I know you do.
Oh, that's a lie. Somehow I have the Lions with fewer pass attempts. That doesn't make sense.
Right, which is insane.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that's not going to happen.
I gotta adjust.
And I mean, I have Goff way down there too, because they don't have anybody to throw the ball to other than their running back and tight end.
Yeah.
I love how many targets, how many attempts Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to get, though. That's awesome.
637.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, buddy. So
I have
okay.
575.
So
but, yeah.
oh, I know what I was going to look something up and I completely forgot what it was going to be. I'm going to look up. Let's see, Baltimore, because I'm going to see how insufferable I'm going to be after week 1 if they throw the ball like 4. Like the odds, I think they might have to air it out. Schedule. Week 1 is the Raiders. They're going up and down the field against that team, no matter what they want to do.
Yeah, they're going to throw the ball like 23 times because they're going to win by 30.
They're going to throw the ball like 23 times because Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins are going to have like 60-yard touchdown runs.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, we argued about Lamar Jackson for a long time. Everybody's happy with Ryan Tannehill. I'm happy with Ryan Tannehill here.
I haven't redone Tannehill, but yeah, he'll end up in that range.
Yeah, he might actually end up higher, I think. I can't move him past Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have Brady at 9, and he'll probably stay there. Tannehill will probably end up 8 for me, would be my guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I still have to fix the Buccaneers. So, yeah, Brady might end up. I have a distinct problem with guys not rushing the football ending up in the top 10.
And, Mike, I adjusted to it today, and he ended up at 13, so you should be happy with that.
I like that.
Yeah, Mike, you seen my number 13 as well?
That's perfect.
Yeah, buddy. All right. And then Deshaun Watson, I'm not bullish on Deshaun Watson playing this year. So once we know who this is, this guy probably drops down, which makes, Tua Stafford my 12-13.
Well, I just used Mills as the placeholder, and because I just don't think that Houston quarterback is going to be anything you want at all, so I don't really care.
Yeah, this is just me splitting the difference between if it's Deshaun Watson, I'm not going to draft him, but we have a duty to project him, versus Tyrod Taylor versus Davis Mills.
I don't feel like I have a duty to project him.
Well, we have a duty. I have a duty.
So you
we'll get into that.
Deshaun Watson in like the 14th round?
No,
I wouldn't draft him. No,
I'm not drafting him out of principle.
Yeah, exactly.
It has nothing to do with the on-field.
Yeah. This is when I wrote about the Deshaun Watson off-field stuff, about how I'm never going to have a Deshaun Watson on my team again. But I was like, look, this is my personal decision. I really tried to have this like even thing where I'm like, this is not with the world's biggest air quotes cancel culture. This is me saying I don't want this guy on my football team, on my fantasy football team, because if I win with Deshaun Watson, I look up on my wall and I have an autographed Deshaun Watson jersey, am I really going to feel good about that in 5 years? No. But at the same time, I run a fantasy football site. If there's somebody who does that mental calculus and thinks that that's okay for them, he's going to be in my ranks, but I'm not going to touch him. So,
but he has, okay.
What were you saying, Mike?
It's politics. I know you don't really want
to
get into that.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it, and then I'll cut you off if I get angry. I'll just stop the stream.
Okay. I see until he's actually proven guilty, then it's, I'm not going to make that moral judgment about him. But if the moment it comes out that he is, then I'll be right there with you.
See, that's.
I mean, I understand your point of view on that.
Yeah.
And I just 98% of all sexual assault claims are true. So the fact that there's 21.
Yeah,
right. The fact
22
that he has 21
now.
accusers, or 22 accusers,
22
that means
now,
that by the numbers, 21 of those are likely to be true, and that's also the chance of 0 of them being true is infinitesimal.
Yeah.
Right, and I agree with you. I do know the number, and if I had to say, one way or the other, it definitely looks like he's guilty. But yeah. I just can't put that on any. I didn't put it on Tyreek Hill a couple years ago. And I can't do that now with Deshaun Watson until that's. But yeah, I mean, privately, if we're talking, absolutely. I mean,
privately while we're talking on our Twitch stream.
Yeah, while we're talking on our Twitch.
Privately while we're talking publicly.
Yeah, but no, Mike, yeah. and that's what I wrote about in the article. I said, look, it's everybody's personal decision.
Sure.
Sure. I don't think like Walker agrees with me. I don't think any more highly of Walker because of it. You disagree with me. I don't think any lower of you because of it. It's everybody's personal calculus that they decide to make. And for me, no more Deshaun Watson because of exactly what Walker said. Odds are at least one of them is truthful. Like Walker said, it's infinitesimally impossible for one of them to not be true. Like it's 99.99999% chance that at least one of these are true. Well, if one's true, I don't want him. And I will be honest, my gut instinct was I thought this was something out of the Jacob Wall and Jack Berkman playbook, because Watson wanted out. He was talking trash about the McNairs. The McNairs are not a good, upstanding, quality family. Their attorney is a friend of the McNairs. So at first I was like, this smells funny. I thought this was a Jacob Wall move. And then it was like, oh, there's another one and 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 another one. And it was like, okay, you know what? This is too much if it's a Jacob Wall, Jack Berkman move. So yeah, Mike, I mean, I welcome the discussion. Like I said, I don't, it's everybody's personal calculus. And I am not laying judgment on you, because in the past I have said, like, Satan himself, if he got me 5 yards per carry, I'd have him on my fantasy team. I've just changed my mind about that. So, you know,
Welcome to Politics Absurdity.
All right, let's get this over with. So Walker, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it. Mike, you buried your boy, and I'm intentionally not going to move him now because you put him there.
I put him there.
So you're
That's
stuck.
what he wants.
That's
Don't
what you
fall
want.
for it, Jeff. Don't fall for it, Jeff. That's what he wants.
Oh man.
So Justin Fields is probably going to move up because this is believing that the Bears are going to do a stupid thing and give Dingus a couple starts. Andy Dalton. Sorry, Andy, if you're watching.
He'll get a couple starts. I'm thinking he's going to get 3 starts before he's pulled.
That's stupid. Like we talked about on Twitter, I don't doubt that's going to happen, but it's absolutely stupid. I don't see any reason why you should. But okay. So that's it for Ranks Chat. I got a bunch of guys I got to fix here. Thank you, boys, for talking through it with me. This was my first time looking at the ranks. We'll be back on Friday in the Patreon feed of our podcast, where we will be planting our flags on guys. And if you've been paying any attention to us, you can probably guess what some people are. I think I might have nailed Walker's. I just need to know which pass catching running back it's going to be. I'm not sure if it's Chase. I'm not sure it's Chase Edmonds or Nyheim Hines or J.D. McKissick, but it's one of those.
It's going to be Demetric Felton. Let's just call it as it is.
No, I don't want anybody with a sub 1 RAS.
Oh, come on. He tries really hard.
I'm sure he does.
He may not be hard. He might not be good, but he tries. So
you know what? That's great. Good for him.
All right, and then
if we plant our flag on a glob, what do we do?
It just slides through. And you don't.
It just slides through.
Yeah, if you plant your flag on a glob, it just kind of gets sucked in, and then it falls out the other side. So you don't get to plant your flag there.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Gets all slimy. You won't want to pick it up.
Yeah, it gets really gross, and then you have to figure out. You have to Google how do I dispose of a flag so you don't get in trouble for burning a flag and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm delaying. Yeah. So. All right. So today's Wednesday, Thursday through Saturday, I believe this week, Evan Hoover will be streaming a live auction. And he was saying in the Discord, he's got a lot of weird stories that he likes to tell during the auction. So
Evan Barbecubler.
And on next Monday, I'll be back with another Mock Draft Monday. I will be doing it with Roto Surgeon, Kevin Surgeon. He'll be on with me next Monday at 1. Next Friday in the regular podcast, we got Herms NFL, and we'll be talking more ranks, which means I have to fix these ranks next week.
Gotta get on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're doing next week in the stream. Maybe we won't have a Wednesday stream. But for Mike, for Walker, this is Jeff. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Please subscribe. It will help us out a lot. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.